Welcome to all the bold, courageous, and powerful women tuning in to Find Your Fabulous. I'm your host, Dr. Diane, and it's time to ignite your full power. Are you ready to embrace your talents and worth and unleash the wise goddess within? I've got the information, inspiration, and revelation you need to ignite your personal power so you can stop playing small and reclaim the passion and purpose that we all hold within us. Connect with other powerful spiritual women who yearn to be fully expressed. The world needs you. Full power. Let me guide you to find your fabulous and ignite your inner goddess. It all starts now on the Find Your Fabulous show. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Diane Garrison, and you are listening to Find Your Fabulous. It's time to ignite your full power here on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with us for the next 30 minutes and let us help you experience your pathway to finding your fabulous. Every first and third Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific time or 10 a.m. Central time, where we will have information, inspiration, and revelation to help you ignite your personal power and reclaim the passion and purpose we all hold within us. I am here with my fabulous producer, Emily. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning, Dr. Diane.
Let's get going. In this episode, I'm going to reveal to you the secret pathways to self-love. Our cultural programming has told us that focusing on ourselves is selfish, but self-love is actually a superpower that the patriarchy doesn't want you to know about. Are you ready to rebel? So, what is self-love? Why don't most of us have self-love? How do we cultivate self-love? I'm going to tackle these questions and more over the next 30 minutes. So, first, what is self-love? I'm going to unpack the important ingredients a bit later in the show, but for now, I will say it is having the same tender, positive, honoring, supportive relationship with yourself that you have with the people you care about the most. It's not a difficult concept, and yet so few of us develop this self-love as we grow up. Well, why is that, Dr. Diane? Well, we were raised by people who didn't love themselves in a culture that tells us, especially we female of the species, that focusing on yourself is selfish. Self-love is tossed into the self-centered category, which honestly couldn't be further from the truth. Here's the real deal. For the last 5,000 years of patriarchy, the powers that be wanted to keep us pliable and easy to manipulate, so we would continue to be the unpaid caretakers of our families and communities. If you lack self-confidence and are driven by guilt about what you should be doing, well, you are much easier to control. If we historically as women believed in our value and worth, then we would not have put up with all the ill treatment, the dependency, and inequality that we faced for those many thousands of years. Even now, when women have all kinds of freedoms open to them, education, careers, financial independence, leadership roles, and the choice to marry or not, to have children or not. Even with all this freedom, the old programming is keeping our inner critic much stronger than our inner lover or our inner best friend. Take myself, for example. It was not all those years of education and 30 plus years of clinical practice as a psychologist that helped me to develop self-love. It was not my strong feminist beliefs and my commitment to help women get their rightful place at the table. No, It was my own burnout and intense suffering that led me on a journey to discovering self love. Yep. About 10 years ago, I was a complete hot mess. Always a perfectionist and super achiever. I had a private practice, two snarky teenage daughters, and wicked menopause symptoms. Rather than listening to my body and slowing down and maybe asking for some help, I kept pushing until I could push no more and felt exhausted, defeated, and like a complete failure. Can you relate to this? Does it remind you of anyone you might know? This led me into a self-doubt spiral. How dare I give advice to others when I was such a hot mess? I thought I was doing the right things, meditating, eating healthy, exercising. I thought I was confident and self-aware. But the truth is, I was very stuck in my masculine strengths, my intellect and logical brain, completely neglecting my own heart center. It was easy to turn on my feminine, nurturing traits with my clients, but my relationship with myself was all about achievement and pushing to get the next thing done. My inner critic was very present and very loud and tended to keep that push energy going. This inner critic, what I call my inner mean girl, was like a weightlifter on steroids. By the end of most days, I was exhausted and crabby, and this is the version of me I took home to my family. I felt guilty and barely present way too often. I was so miserable that I prayed for guidance. Well, more like yelled at God, "What do you want from me?" And I was led magically first to the practice of self-compassion with Dr. Kristen Neff. And then when I could finally open my heart center to me, when I finally was kind and attentive to myself, I was led to Dr. Claire Zamet and the Feminine Power programs. These philosophies and practices so transformed my life. I knew I had to share them with others, so I signed up for the coaching training. And as I learned and healed, my sleep improved. Well, honestly, the bioidentical hormones helped with that. But my energy increased. I had more pep in my step and an overall better attitude. I felt I could be fully present with my clients once more. Through this feminine power training, I learned to connect to myself in a new and powerful way, not just with kindness and patience, but that was beautiful, but with a recognition and appreciation for my talents and gifts and a passion to share them even more fully in the world. And I was able to connect much deeper to my inner wisdom and to the divine wisdom within. So that decision making became so much easier, self trust so much deeper. Even more amazing, I learned how to use this inner wisdom to connect to those old stories and negative core beliefs in my unconscious mind, my inner wounded children that allowed me to transform those beliefs with the greater knowledge of who I truly was today. I am good enough. It felt wonderful to welcome home those parts of me that felt so stuck and disconnected. Now I just feel more comfortable in my own skin and I'm able to recognize when I'm being triggered so that I can pause, self-soothe, and find a new way to respond. In the past, I would be aware I was upset, but would bury the emotion and stoically carry on with my day. Unfortunately, these unacknowledged emotions and heavy energy came home with me and got projected on the family. Yuck! I felt guilty a lot. Now I pay attention to my own reactions and emotions. This allows me to resolve the tension and negative feelings in the moment and bring a more grounded, happy person home, ready to engage in family life. Win-win for everyone. I feel like I can finally be fully present in the moment and just trust myself, trust my intuition, and all those years of experience to guide me in making good decisions, healthy choices, and conscious behavior. Now I'm super excited to share my learnings with others, like you, dear listeners, through these podcasts and my empowerment coaching, especially my signature program, Find Your Fabulous and Ignite Your Inner Goddess. You're listening to Dr. Diane and the Find Your Fabulous show, and you can explore all things fabulous on my website, fullpowerwomen.com. So I want to talk about the different components of self-love and how you can begin to build these skills. There are 7 of them. Speak kindly to yourself. 2, soften the critical inner voice. 3, build self-compassion. Be able to show up for yourself in a tender, supportive way when you are struggling. 4, identify and own your gifts, talents, and strengths. 5, practice healthy boundaries. 6, tune into your inner wisdom versus paying attention to the opinions of others. And 7, treat your precious body with loving attention, honor, and respect. All these skills are carefully taught and nurtured in my empowerment coaching, and you can get starter lessons on all of them through the free gifts and resources available on my website, fullpowerwomen.com. But let's start to unpack them here. Number 1, speak kindly to yourself. Now, we all have an inner critic, that voice that likes to judge and criticize us, to cast doubt and worry, and even think snarky thoughts about others. Why do we have these strong inner critics or inner mean girls? Well, first off, we are the proud owners of a negatively biased nervous system that is more in tune with negative information than with positive. Yay! It's the same nervous system we've had since we lived in caves, and when constantly being on high alert was a smart thing. And we were raised by parents with negatively biased nervous systems and grew up in a culture that seems to glorify negative information more than positive. So all you have to do to be a negative thinker is wake up. Being a positive thinker and building positive self-talk takes consistent effort and practice. One way to start to practice is saying self-affirmations. You can find these online in books or in my free mini course, The Gifts of Self-Love. The link will be on the program description. A great book is tried and true classic, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. Check it out. Catch yourself being good and give yourself the praise and atta girl you would give to a friend or even your child. Some of my favorite affirmations that I say often is every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. And I am a precious child of creation, meant to share my gifts fully in the world. And I am a person of value and worth. My very existence brings value to this world. Try those out for size. Number 2, softening the critical inner voice. So we just explored the power of talking nicely to yourself. The other side of this is transforming your negative and critical thoughts. The first step is noticing what you're noticing, meaning really starting to pay attention to your thinking and the repeated negative patterns that are part of your critical inner voice. Maybe it's about your appearance or what others think of you or your performance at work or home. Just notice what thoughts come up regularly and see if you can figure out what triggers those repeated patterns. The truth is, we all have a good number of negative beliefs that we developed as young kids growing up in a negative world, and these limiting beliefs are housed in our unconscious minds and continue to control us throughout our lives until we detect them and transform them with the deeper of truth of who we've really grown up to be. Transforming these limiting beliefs is very important work. It, it will free you. It will honestly free you to become your best self. It is definitely beneficial to get some professional guidance to do this work. But you can start today by noticing when you are caught up in negative thinking and working to flip your thoughts to something more positive, like something you're reliably grateful for, your loved ones, your health, flowers, that's mine, and blue skies, whatever gives you gratitude and joy. It will take a lot of dedicated practice to turn that negative mind around, but it is well worth the effort. We are going to take a short break, so stay tuned and we will continue to explore and unpack the remaining 5 building blocks of self-love. I'm Dr. Diane, and you are listening to the Find Your Fabulous show. You can find out all about me and my empowerment coaching at my website, fullpowerwomen.com, or reach out to me directly through my email at drdiane@fullpowerwomen.com. And now it's time for a break. Hello, we're back on the Find Your Fabulous show with Dr. Diane, and we are about to explore more of the skills and qualities that create self-love. We've already reviewed talking nicely to yourself and softening that critical inner voice. Number 3 is building self-compassion. Now, this is related to talking nice to yourself, but it is even deeper. It is being able to show up for yourself in a tender and supportive way when you're struggling. As women, we tend to build compassion and empathy skills. It's some of our superpowers. But have you ever thought it's strange that we struggle to apply this kindness to ourselves? It's that cultural brainwashing again. But here's the great news. You already know how to be kind and supportive of others. You just need to flip your attention onto yourself. First, you have to notice when you are struggling, in pain, or suffering. You need to pay attention kindly to whatever you're feeling about the situation, and then be willing to apply the same supportive, tender, nurturing emotion to yourself as you would to any other. I wrote an ebook during COVID to teach you just how to do this, and you can find it on my website, and it will be in the program description. It's a short read, but quite visually beautiful and full of practices and embedded meditation and resources. Here is an easy practice that you can experience right in the moment. Close your eyes and bring your focus and attention inward. And just begin to slow down your breathing. Take a few really deep breaths. Put both hands over your heart center and say to yourself, may I feel safe. May I feel peaceful. May I be kind to myself. May I accept myself as I am. And you just repeat these phrases over and over until you feel that peace and calm. Simple, yet powerful. We're moving on to number 4. Identify and own your gifts, talents, and strengths. We all have many gifts and talents and coping skills. The proof is that we are here and we are making it day to day. But our negativity biased mind more easily focuses on our faults and weaknesses, right? When I ask my clients to describe themselves, their negative traits always seem to come more easily to mind than their strengths. Well, the truth is we all have weaknesses, but focusing on them does not help us to develop self-love and confidence, and usually just makes us feel badly about ourselves. It's not that I'm telling you not to acknowledge them, but there is no need to emphasize them. My challenge to you is to take time to list your strengths on a piece of paper. Take your time and really dig deep. Go on the internet and find a list of common strengths if you're struggling in the naming. Then ask two people who know you very well and love you to list your strengths. I bet your list gets bigger. Allow yourself to get vulnerable and talk to these folks about what they see and why. I promise it will be a very lovely, enlightening experience. You know, we can't share our gifts fully in the world until we own them. We are all genius at something. It's time to truly own your gifts, talents, and strengths as essential parts of you. All right, let's move on to number 5, practicing healthy boundaries. Patriarchy has defined our worth as women to be caretakers of others. And most of us do this very well, thank you very much. But we are also told that to focus on ourselves is selfish. This creates patterns of overgiving, people-pleasing, and self-neglect. We feel guilty if we say no to others' requests and resentful when we feel pushed into doing things we really don't want to. Can you relate to this? Is this your experience? Now, a person with healthy boundaries can say no to others when they want to and can accept when others say no to them. They are also comfortable opening themselves up to intimacy and close relationships, and they don't compromise their values to please others. Healthy boundaries means considering your own health and well-being, your own wants and needs before making decisions, taking actions, or assisting others. And I matter mindset because you do matter and you are in charge of you. I tell my clients often, we teach others how to treat us. So if we let them walk all over us, they will continue to do so until we learn to set healthy boundaries. And I have an easy resource for you on this. A 30-minute teaching video on developing guilt-free boundaries. The link to pick it up will be in the podcast description and on my website, fullpowerwomen.com. 6, tune into your inner wisdom versus paying attention to the opinion of others. Many of us are very tuned into the opinion of others, and we tend to compare ourselves to others. Have you heard the phrase, comparison is the thief of joy? No one knows you better than you. And because we are spiritual beings having a human experience, we are full of inner wisdom and divine wisdom. Our inner wisdom knows how wonderful we are to the greatest detail. She is always ready to offer support, wisdom, compassion, and guidance. However, most of us are not easily connected to our inner wisdom because our culture teaches us to tune into the outside conditions of our life versus the inner wisdom and peace. We are taught to be doers, not to just be present and mindful. There are many ways to do this, to get connected to your inner space. There are infinite kinds of meditation, breath work, and mindfulness, or just sitting quietly, focusing inward. There's also journaling, creating art, being out in nature. It just takes some commitment to creating time and space optimally to get quiet and tune into your inner world. Start with 5 minutes. The marvelous thing about being human is that we can deepen our spirituality and connection to our inner world at any point in our life. It's a work never done. So there are free apps to help you begin a meditation practice. And if you join my Facebook group, Find Your Fabulous and Ignite Your Inner Goddess, I do 2 short live meditations a week on Mondays and Fridays. So come join us and take advantage of this. Our last quality, treat your precious body with loving attention, honor, and respect. Part of self-love is accepting our body as it is and giving it the attention and resources it needs to stay healthy. Our culture teaches us to be at war with our bodies. We are not thin enough, fit enough, pretty enough, sexy enough, stylish enough, young enough, as if we have control of that. Remember what I said just a while ago? Comparison is the thief of joy. Here is the simple truth. We have been honored with this body for this human lifetime. It is the temple of our soul. Treat it with gratitude, reverence, and respect, and you will have a healthier life. Act as the priestess to your own body temple, the temple of your immortal soul. If you were in charge of a temple space, would you shovel crap into it or let it get musty and dusty and full of cobwebs? No, you would keep it clean and smelling fresh and fill it with flowers and candles and objects of reverence and beauty, wouldn't you? So how do you treat your body temple? Listen, our bodies are fabulous healing machines. They can do all kinds of marvelous movements and activities. They are nothing short of miraculous. And they work much better if we give our bodies clean, healthy food, enjoyable activity and movement, meaningful rest and relaxation, and deep, refreshing sleep. Not complex ideas, and yet we humans seem to really struggle with this. We get stuck in our heads and tend to ignore our bodies unless they are tired, sick, or hurting. It's time for you to upgrade your relationship with your body. So, there you have it. The building blocks to growing self-love: speaking kindly to yourself, softening the critical inner voice, building self-compassion, identifying and owning your gifts, talents, and strengths, practicing healthy boundaries, tuning into your inner wisdom, and treat your precious body with loving attention, honor, and respect. Please take advantage of all the free resources I'm making available to you, and I welcome you to reach out to me to continue this conversation. You can email me directly at Dr. Diane at Full Power Women, or even book a free coaching call from the link on the podcast description or from my website, fullpowerwomen.com, where you can again find out all about me and my coaching practice. I want to thank you all for tuning in to Find Your Fabulous with Dr. Diane. I had a wonderful time. Please join me every first and third Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Central time, and 11 time Eastern. Next time on Find Your Fabulous on June 17th, I will be talking with author, speaker, and actor Samantha Bennett on the art of getting things done. You won't want to miss it. Bye for now, and go find your fabulous. I'm your host, Dr. Diane, and you have been listening to Find Your Fabulous. It's time to ignite your full power. Tune in every first and third Monday of the month at 8 a.m. Pacific time on Transformation Talk Radio for information, inspiration, and revelation to ignite your personal power. Connect with other bold, courageous, and powerful women who are ready to stop playing small and reclaim the passion and purpose that we all hold within us. The world needs you, full power. To find your fabulous and ignite your inner goddess, visit fullpowerwomen.com.